Hi, folks. In this particular lecture, we will do the topic on unemployment. So, what is unemployment? Let's get started. Before we understand the concept of unemployment, let us understand what employment means. As per the Australian Bureau of Statistics, in Australia, persons over 15 years working at least for 1 hour per week in a paid employment are classified as employed. While this definition is very narrow in terms of gauging the true level of employment, it is basic measure. And the unemployment rate, what is unemployment? Anyone who is willing and able to work and is also actively looking for the job is considered to be unemployed. The unemployment rate is the percentage of people in the labor force who are without jobs and are actively seeking jobs. So how do we estimate this unemployment, or what constitutes the labor force as per the definition? So mainly there are two categories. You can see it within the total civilian population, age 15 and over. So that's where when I said people who are willing and able to work. So definitely in terms of the age factor plus the ability to work, as in terms of the skill set. And if someone is actively looking for a job and still can't find a job, is considered to be unemployed. So you can see the category of unemployed is the one who have the new entrants seeking work, or re-entrants lost last job, or any of those people who have been laid off temporarily. And the ones who are employed are the ones who are willing and able to work and are, in other words, as per the classification, employed at least for an hour the week of serving. Then there is another category within this, which is neither employed nor unemployed. This particular section, as you can see, the ones that are not in labor force are extremely vital because they make a big deal of change in terms of the unemployment or the employment rates, which you will see very soon when I take you through the next few slides, as in this. So taking on this example, if we were to consider the people who are employed, in this particular case, this is just a hypothetical economy wherein we have got about 800 people who are over the age of 15, let's say, and out of them, if 400 are employed and 100 are unemployed. So what is the labor force? Just understanding through this Venn diagram, it will be very easy. The labor force is 400 plus this 100. This becomes your labor force, okay? And if you were to calculate, and these are the people, in fact, who are neither employed nor unemployed, but they make a lot of difference to the total changes in the unemployment rate. If more people choose to join in the workforce, start actively looking for the job, you can see that possibly the unemployment rate can go up. So let's say about 150 people, let's say 150 people want to, just let me clear all drawings. So if about 150 people want to join in here, let's say, so even if the government has created 100 jobs, still unemployment can be seen. And you can see that even with job creations, the unemployment can still stay. On the other side, if people get discouraged, tired of looking for a job and still can't find one, and then they choose to leave out of it, they stop looking for the job, they move out of this, and that could mean that the unemployment can actually appear to be going down, whereas in principle, people haven't actually found a job. So this particular section is extremely important in itself, especially to gauge the participation rate. So this is your labor force. And if you want to find out unemployment rate, it is number of people who are unemployed, that's 100 here, and divided by the labor force. So labor force is 500 times 100. This becomes your unemployment rate. And what is participation rate? Participation rate basically means the number of people who are economically active. So as per this case, who are economically active? The ones who are in the labor force, that is 400 plus 100, that is unemployed plus employed, you can see it, divided by the total number of people in the working age population. So 500 divided by 800 times 100 gives you the participation rate. And as I said, the participation rate is very important also to understand. So before I just carry on, let me show you specifically more neatly the diagrams for this. So I have no idea why this has frozen now. There we go. So you can see this is the participation rate and this is unemployment rate. So as in our example that I had shown you, you've got an 800 there and sorry, the labor force was 500 and the number of unemployed was 100. So 100 divided by 500. Okay? And participation rate, that is unemployed plus employed. So as per our example, what was the number? We had 100 here and we had 400 here. And then the total working age population was this. So it is this simple. Now, why is this participation rate important? It is very important again to look at and whenever you are evaluating or assessing any unemployment data, because there is a possibility, let's say the economy moves from a downtrend to the uptrend. You know what are these? Business cycles, right? So here you have gotten the GDP and this is your time. So if the economy is doing well after the recession, maybe when it is into this recovery period, as you can see, I'm making it a little darker. So when the economy does better during a recovery period, the job rates still continue to be, even with the more job creation, still unemployment can be going up, possibly because the people who were in this case, so let's say begin to join the workforce, they start looking more actively for the jobs. So while the economy is still recovering, so we say economy is recovering, why is the unemployment rate still going up? Because there could be more people joining into the workforce and into the labor force, and that is where you can always remember that the participation rate is important, and it is important to consider both the figures together. So in this situation, when we see that the economy is improving, 150 people have also moved into this section, and this could mean that the unemployment rate is going up. But alongside, possibly the participation is going up, possibly the sign is also because the things are being better, people are moving into it. Moving forward with the next. And this is where what actually even brings on the criticisms of the unemployment rate. And unemployment rate can be in fact understated, possibly sometimes because of the discouraged workers, as we talked about in the earlier slides, that is how people moving out of this workforce could, there were 100 people who couldn't find a job and then they gave up out of that. So automatically you would see that the unemployment rate is going down, but possibly it is not going down. It is the people who have felt discouraged and have left the workforce. So that is important. So discouraged workers are not counted. So who are these discouraged workers? One more time, someone non-stop looking for a job almost for a year, does not get a job, is discouraged, leaves the workforce, as in stops looking for the job. And the clause was, if you are not actively looking for a job, you are not considered as unemployed. More so the definition of employment, which says someone working for an hour is considered as employed. If you refer to the very first slide, someone working just for an hour is being considered as employed, which is a very narrow definition, and thus what it means is that it can actually understate, because people who can work 8 hours a day, if they're working for an hour in a week, they're definitely underemployed. So again, unemployment figures are being understated. Now, can they be overstated too? Yes, they can be, because sometimes it is possible that people, may be claiming unemployment benefits. They claim to be seeking employment, but possibly they are not actually that actively looking forward to it, or, could have been working on cash but claim to be unemployed. So there are a number of loopholes in this, and that is where unemployment rate cannot be completely um, is not completely foolproof. Nonetheless, on an average, these rates could be good, and they must be viewed in light with other data as well, such as participation rate and so forth. So in this particular one, we will only do this much. In the next one, we will start off with our lecture on the types of unemployment. I'm ready with that.